Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to SSPTV Community News. I'm Lisa Sugart. Today we're here at the Anthracite Model Railroad Society in Hazel Township, and we invite you to come along and take a ride back in time. I'm pleased to be joined by Jim Hoig, who is the president of the Anthracite Model Railroad Society. Jim, you've been doing this for a long time. I understand you're a charter member, one of the original founders of this. When does this date back to?
We've been in this building since 1999. We were in a different building from 1990 until 99.
How did it start? Like, who came up with this idea? Because this is fabulous.
It started with just a bunch of guys who were interested in trains, and we had all kind of ideas, and we actually had a layout in the other building, but they gave us a year to get everything out of there, which it took a year. And we found this building, and we were able to come up with enough money to buy this building. We own this building.
Now, obviously, it didn't look like this from the start, so it took a lot of man hours to get it to this point.
Countless man hours and woman hours. I don't believe we have any current female members, but we've had them in the past.
So people can join this organization at any time.
Absolutely. We're open for membership anytime. All they have to do is stop in. We'll give them an application, and we go from there. Or they can look at our Facebook page or our website. amrclub.org is our website.
The setup is up all year round, right? But you have to maintain this.
Oh, yes. We're constantly doing maintenance, wiring issues, or simply cleaning track every once in a while. We clean track this week, and that should be good for a while, but there's always something to do. Some wire is loose, or some switch doesn't work correctly.
This is fun to come and look at the trains, but it's like a living history lesson, right?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of these things are places that did exist, or in some cases still exist, in various areas. Right over here on my right is Bethlehem Steel representation. Most of those buildings are gone, but there's a couple of them still there. One of our members worked at Bethlehem Steel for many years and came up with the idea to build that. We model from the 1940s to the 1960s. Occasionally there's something a little bit newer in here, but mostly it's that time frame.
Now, what areas are we talking about that are represented here?
Well, down here was Bethlehem Steel. Down there in the corner is what we call Mock Chunk, or Jim Thorpe it is these days. And the area right behind you is something called Thole Valley, which never really existed. One of our members built most of those buildings and put them in, and because he built them, we gave it his name. Hazelton, Weatherly, Eckley, and Harley are upstairs.
What makes you keep coming back to doing this?
Lifelong interest in trains.
And for people that aren't familiar with train setups, this is an HO scale?
Correct, HO scale.
I am here with an actual qualified engineer for this society, and that is 7-year-old John Burns, and he is here with his grandfather today, and that's Bob Hoig. Bob, how proud are you that this guy's an actual engineer?
I'm extremely proud of him.
How did he get into this? I have a feeling it had something to do with you.
Yes, it did. I have an extremely large train layout at home that John can run.
Now, John, do you like trains?
Yeah,
Why do you like trains?
because they're fun.
What do you have in your hand there?
A controller.
Oh, so you do control the trains when you come in here. Tell me what you do.
I run them around the layout.
I'm now here with John Simkovich, who is a past president of this organization and a charter member. John, you've been here also since the very beginning.
I think I joined actually about the third meeting that they had, actually, and like Jim had mentioned, in the old schoolhouse. We are actually in the second part of our layout, which is the upper level now. Our layout is what they call a mushroom style layout. And the reason for that is you'll look around, you actually see trains up here, you don't see anything downstairs, and vice versa. We're actually standing in between Hazelton, the city of Hazelton, and at that time it would have been known as the borough of Hazelton, and also Weatherly and Pottsville and numerous other places on the layout.
You love trains, right?
Yes, you could say that. I truly do. I've been playing with trains probably from, well, my dad actually told me I've been playing with trains since I'm probably about 1.5 years old.
This was a family tradition for you as well, and you have a special place here too that kind of is a nice memory of your dad.
Yes, I do. My dad painted about 80% of the figures, the people on the layout. Back in the day, he would come down here whatever night, put a loop on his glasses, and paint HO scale figures. Now you figure an HO scale figure, a 6-foot tall man like I am, is probably about 1 inch tall. And he would go in there with a paintbrush that probably had 2 or 3 bristles on it, and you could see some of the people that he painted over here and throughout the whole layout. Another thing he had done was in the Borough of Weatherly, when he found out that they were going to go ahead and put the Borough of Weatherly on the layout, he said to the guys, he says, "I got a picture and we have to go ahead and model that." That was actually taken approximately in 1940 in Weatherly. The story I was told by my dad, who's not with us anymore, but he said that if you hung a deer and it was a trophy deer, they'd take it downtown across from the railroad station and hang it in front of one of the stores. The storefront is still there. As you can see in the picture, there was a bunch of guys went and posed on the picture, and the picture actually appeared in the standard speaker. I always say that the layout is guarded by my grandfather because he's actually one of the gentlemen on the picture.
Now people get to come through because you're having an open house, kicking it off for the holiday season.
We open on Thanksgiving night. The trains will be running from 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock, and then Saturday and Sunday, every Saturday and Sunday, with the exception of the second weekend in December, we're open from 12 noon until 4 o'clock. Now there's also another special event that I want to mention, and this is geared for our junior engineers. We have a certain steam locomotive that comes up from the land of Sodor, and it's a little blue engine, and he likes to cause all kind of trouble, just like the real one does. And he brings all of his friends, and they actually run the lower level of our layout. Thomas and his friends will be there December 3rd and 4th.
For everybody watching right now, last words, what do you want to say to them to entice them to come here and see this beautiful display?
Come down and see it. It's well worth it. We always recommend that you go ahead and bring a camera with you.
Well, thanks for giving us this tour, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too and everybody, and don't eat too much turkey.